Can you give us a sense of, why, maybe strategic workforce planning is important at this time in the enterprise?
Yeah, of course. So, well, I think kind of a key thing to bear in mind, and to echo what Raleen and David fed back as well, it was around kind of the time in which the research was conducted in the wider context there. So it was conducted earlier this year, and organisations were still dealing with a lot of socio-political and economic uncertainty, still reeling from the impacts of COVID and factors such as kind of the Great Resignation and things like that. And that sentiment very much came through a bit more widely in our qual interviews, especially. So when we were talking with senior leaders, they very much acknowledged that there were challenging times ahead for their organizations and across their industries as well. And what was emphasized was that a key part of responding to and adapting to change is strategic workforce planning. So participants in our research emphasized how key this practice is, especially now. So being flexible to meet market conditions, forecast and match the needs of the business with the right skill sets, but also building a workforce which is engaged and is happy and are advocates for their organizations as well. And we definitely saw in some cases that strategic workforce planning is also tied to much broader and critical organizational strategies and priorities, further emphasizing its importance in its own right. So we saw some examples of organizations focusing on developing their kind of expertise in marketing and advertising following the pandemic and reducing their reliance on outsourced agencies, for example. I guess that being said, our research indicated that there is kind of further scope for strategic workforce planning to be more front of mind, especially at a C-suite level. And I'm sure we'll kind of touch on it throughout the discussion, but results indicated that less than half of organizations suggest that their workforce planning is a regular feature on their board agenda. So there's perhaps a sense that despite its importance and its acknowledged kind of criticality, this may not always result in action for organizations. But I mean, of course, it's not all that simple, I suppose. Kind of our participants spoke of the various challenges they face in effective strategic workforce planning. So decision-making can be fragmented, sits with individual departments or business units. And of course, kind of legacy solutions in technologies are often used, which aren't equipped for the modern challenges they're facing.